Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico.
You just don't get it.
And today we're here to finish off another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. But before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me at patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, and to be a part of the live streams where we have multifaceted conversations with a varied panel with various topics depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. And if you are in the New York City area on Tuesdays, you should come to my event. Nico, what do you mean? So it happened about 2 months ago. I got the official Tuesday party slot for this new party that's opened up in New York City. So if you like Black and Latino music, Nico, what do you mean? It's like reggaeton, dembow, R&B, hip hop, and also pop. So it's a nice fusion. Everybody that comes says that they enjoy the music. If you like a mixed crowd of Black and brown people, definitely come to Hush Bar. If you do, hopefully you will not see me blackout drunk, but 9 times out of 10 you will. But let's get on to the actual topic. But before that, last video's comment was basically saying as soon as the doctor came in and told Jay Bunny and his pregnant girlfriend, hey diva, so I have a little announcement for you. I don't know if you knew this or if anybody told you, but you tested positive. I would have cut the camera. I don't understand why the maybe I shouldn't record this wouldn't pop up in his head, but yeah. Now we've gotten out of the way, onto the actual topic. Today we're going to be talking about someone named Prince. Nico, what do you mean, Prince? So I'm just going to call him Prince. I actually came across this video about a month ago when I got it from one of my subscribers, and they were saying I thought this would be an interesting conversation for you to tackle. And I agree. Basically, Prince was coming online to discuss his experience with a super happy adult fun time based party in LA. Nico, if you did not know, let me give you the preface. I will definitely show you like the first 10 minutes of his series, but it's like 20 minutes worth of video and it's a lot of curse words that I have to actively edit out to make it PG enough for monetization. So if you want to go finish the full video, definitely go check out his TikTok. But here is the part that we will be discussing. After I show you the video, I will come back for a small synopsis. So if you don't want to watch a 10-minute long video, just skip right to my commentary.
So I went to one of those gay parties or like with like over 250 men, and let me just tell you my experience, because this is my second time at this venue. I'm not even gonna say the name because thou shall not be named. That's how freaking traumatizing it was. It's like that every time, because what I noticed is that it depends on really where you're at, because a lot of things can just come off very superficial, even though they're advertised as diversity hires. Okay, it might be like, oh yeah, we love all men, but the men inside do not love all men. They actually, in fact, only like one type of man, which makes this whole entire experience even worse. So I recently was in California, and I wanted to have some extra spicy fun, because when I'm back home, I don't hook up with anybody. It's literally like I go back to celibacy. Like, nobody out here is worth doing or risking anything for. So locked up, might as well be Locktober. I mean, it is October, but it was September. Anyway, I did my research and I found out what date the thing is, and turns out I'm in town while it's going on. So perfect, because I hadn't been to this one in 6 months. And last time I went, it was 6 months ago. And a lot of things happened. I tweeted a lot about it. If you know, you know type thing. But I just know I ended up hooking up with the host. But it still did not take away from the experience that I mainly had 80% of the time, which was what the fuck? Everybody is so superficial. So the fact that I'm going back to this one again for the second time, I was like, maybe second time's a charm. Like, maybe the first time something was wrong. So I don't like going to these type of places alone, because like, yes, I'm a people person. I like to interact with people, but like interacting at these kind of things can be very awkward, because people make it so fucking awkward. And it's just like, bitch, don't come, rules and regulations, do not come here in a couple, do not come here just to yourself, do not come here just to watch. Like, that's boring. Why the fuck would you pay that much money just to sit here in this corner and watch? Like, you're wasting your time. You can do this via the internet at home in the comforts of your fucking bedroom or your bathroom. Be smart and logical, okay? Stop being fucking dummies. Like, some of these people are so stupid. Anyway, I don't go to these things alone, so I decided to hit up a friend, and he said that he was planning on going anyway, so we ended up going together. So me and my friend, we meet up outside. We decided to pregame a little bit, smoke a little pre-roll because my anxiety be high because even though there's 250 men there, they're supposed to be hot. There's no guarantee that I'm going to be anybody's type. And after my experience after last time, it left me feeling so. We're not even going to talk about it because that was traumatizing. I am in no way saying that I am the finest in the world, but god damn, that hurt. So my friend recognized somebody from outside of the party, and it was somebody that I had followed on Twitter. Like, I knew of him. So I was like, okay, this is how I know it's going to be a good party because the best of the best are pulling up, okay? So we get inside, we check in and stuff like that. We buy our tickets, and yeah, it's worth it because if you stay all night, then you can make it worth it. Like, yeah, otherwise, I don't know. We get inside, and as soon as you get inside, you go to the left, you check in your bags. They give you a little wristband so that way you can find your bag, and that way you're not carrying around all your stuff like while you're walking around searching for things. Okay, I don't know how PG how can I don't know how in depth I can get on here. I'm gonna have to use code words. I'm gonna call alcohol a zip for the sake of this story. So we get fully undressed, we check in our clothes, and then we go out onto the main venue floor and stuff like that. And I immediately am the type of person where I need drinks because yes, I know we just pre-grammed before, but like my anxiety ate that shit up, so I need to go again. So I go to the bar to get a zip of vodka Red Bull. That is my girl. I am that girl, vodka Red Bull. I promise you. So me and my friend split, right? And we're going on the search or whatever. So I immediately am not the type of person to be scared because I've been in spaces like this before. So I'm like, I don't have time to waste. I need to get straight into the action. I'm walking around in different parts of the venue, asking people all types of different questions, like if they're looking, like are they interested, stuff like that. And it was a theme of common questions like they already unloaded, they don't know when they're going to be able to load back. 2, they'll find me later on at night, which was just another answer for no. And 3, there was a lot of snotty bitches who just had nasty ass fucking attitudes like I could never in my best dream. Like, I don't know, a lot of these venues be advertising themselves as a diverse group of people. I think it's really the people that go to these venues that make it such an unsafe space because they go in with preferences in mind that are not ideal type thing. So basically me being bold enough to walk up to you to ask you a question was already scary enough as it is. So like the people with this nasty snarky attitudes, then it was just like nasty and disgusting. And it was just like me comparing, contrasting myself to other people inside the building. It was like I'm short, I'm flexible, I don't look bad. I'm not trying to gas myself up. I'm not saying I'm the finest thing in the world, but like I would hope that somebody would want hello, like, but I don't have time to think about none of that shit because like I'm not trying to waste all this time. So we got there at like 10 o'clock, at least about till 12. It was me in the zip. We were having so much fun. Me and vodka Red Bull at like every 15 minutes because I would go to different spots around the venue and wait there face down, ass up. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm packing back there, okay? To waist ratio is giving. So I'm like, this is so crazy to me that I'm sitting for 20 minutes at a time in different parts of the venue and there's guys looking at me, but they're going to the guy on the left of me. And I'm like, what is the difference between me and the guy to the left of me? The guy to the left of me is white. The guy to the right of me is Asian. He's like a light-skinned Asian. So like me and the guy to my right, we start talking about like, I don't know if it's just me, but like, are you getting the vibe that they only like one type of girly in here? And he's like, yeah, like, and then he's complimenting me saying that like with the waistline like that, I understand why they're not jumping at the opportunity to, you. And I'm like, you got one of the biggest butts in here, so like I don't understand why they're not jumping at you. I'm confused, but like I said, 20 minutes at a time in different parts of the venue all throughout the night. I went to different spots. I went to interact with different people. I even hopped up on the pole at a certain time just to dance while being drunk and stuff like that. And it was just giving pitiful, okay? When I saw somebody that I knew and met before at a different spa, which was fun, but he had already got, so he couldn't give me anything. Sad days. So basically, I find my friend again in the middle of the venue, and I'm like telling him about my frustrations with the venue so far because it's been like damn near an hour and nobody touched me, and I'm like, this is going away. It's like I'm doing dangerous and nobody wants to touch me. But he's like hanging out with another one of his friends that are black, and I'm like, okay, like he's cute. I like my friend. I like the friend that he's with. So I get down and I start talking to the lower register, if you know what I'm talking about. And it was just like a good little pregame before like trying to remotivate me to go back out onto the into the venue and just like into the unknown. You never know, but they 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 helped the itch. There's like a certain couch area where certain guys would just sit down because they're either into only or they're just like into watching. So I'm like, okay. And there's also a swing over there just in case anybody's feeling like frisky and wants to, you know what I mean. So I go one by one down that line of people in this little horse shape, and I'm asking them, the least the ones I find attractive. I'm like, hey, do you mind it? Can I? And guys liked it. Like that was probably like my best area, which is probably like my best asset too as well, because like, yeah, waistline giving, ass fat, ass to waist ratio go crazy, but like this, dangeroso. I think I got two guys there. It was just kind of like fun, but like they had already like interacted with other people throughout the night and unloaded. So like it was kind of like me trying to like fight for that next one. I'm like, my knees hurt and I'm tired, so like I'm gonna go search around again because somebody has to want to like meet right now, okay? Because I didn't come here just to give like this blessing here. I'm trying to give you the full experience. But they appreciated it to the point where they literally thanked me. They were like, how is this, like, how are you not like the talk of the town right now? How are you not like bumping across the venue? I'm like, I've been trying, I've been asking, but they just don't seem to like me for some reason. And they said the same thing that I was thinking, and me and the Asian guy were thinking, is that this party is not safe for POC people. Like, it's safe in theory for POC people. Like, there's no like guardrails keeping them out or anything like that, but it was just like the people with preferences coming into a venue like this are not making it a safe space because they're not open to everybody. They're open to just one race.
Basically, as you saw, Prince came online to say that his experience in a diverse, safe space in LA, which was majority white men, so a white party that simply said everybody's welcome, was very traumatizing for him as a darker skinned black bottom. Nico, what do you mean? So, when other groups of people tend to, let's say, fetishize black people, it is in the Mandingo fantasy. It is in, I want a big 6 foot tall, muscular, masculine black man with a long attention span that can help me through the jobs I need him to accomplish. So in the situation that Prince was in, he basically went to this party that is predominantly and aimed at white people, but is open to other people coming as well. He said that he had actually visited this party last year and had the exact same experience as he did this year. I'm chuckling at that part just because if you already know what you're going into, you know what you're going into, especially as a black person that prefers, let's say, white men. Nico, why do you say that? Honestly, I don't really prefer white men just because I had to deprogram myself from the Eurocentric standards of beauty growing up, seeing as how most gay content that is on the internet surrounds white people. Even if we get a, racially ambiguous love interest, they're usually biracial. So it's like you don't really get to see black bodies being portrayed in a loving romantic way in queer media unless you go to like indie films that are usually filled with trauma as well. But I say that to say I don't have the experience of going into white spaces and feeling invisible for the sole fact that I'm not checking for them. Because I've even opened up to one of my friends. I like to go to, let's say, Horse Meat Disco. Nico, gay people and their names. It's actually a dance party that's more 90s dance pop focused. Like, think Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston dance remixes. Like, I love the music that they play at that party, but I also recognize that I may be one of the 20 black people in the building, but I enjoy that for the sole fact that I'm not checking for I'm not checking for anyone in the building, so I'm okay with being invisible in this space. But going to a super happy adult fun time party that's aimed for white people as a non-white person, especially when you blatantly go against the one archetype of black people that they gleefully like to come to these parties, it is going to be difficult. Because he even opened up about how he was going around the party. Everybody was saying, oh, I just finished hanging out with somebody I can't, or, oh, I'll come find you later on tonight, I'm so sorry, which was basically a kind-hearted no, till it got to the point where he was just sitting in position waiting. He would get up after 20 minutes, go to the next spot in the club waiting, get up, go to the next spot in the club waiting, and people would continue to ignore him, but would go to the white person to his left. To the point that he and the Asian man that was also getting ignored began to have the conversation of, wow, this is really not a safe space for people of color, and I don't really feel welcomed here, and I don't understand why they would say we're open to everyone, when in reality, the people that come here are not open to everyone. He said later on in the night, he ended up having small success in specific corners of the room, but it was always away from his main goal of being a bottom. Nobody wanted him as the darker skinned black bottom in this white building. And once again, normally I have a nuanced, compassionate approach towards these things, but in this situation, I'm one of those people that believes you can't be mad when your preference doesn't prefer you. Nico, hold on. As as somebody that travels across the world, I go to parties in different cities, different states, different countries. So I've been to parties in LA, and I will say it is very white centered. It's LA. It's very unfortunately featurist, colorist, and whitewashed. It's just what LA is, unless you go to actual native areas that is more like Latino and, mixed crowd company. But the parties that he's going to are aimed at the LA gay white man. So honestly, going into a space that is specifically not for you, but is saying, oh, we can still accept you, you can still come, and this being your second time going there and it's the same exact experience, I'd say chalk it up to the game and abandon it. Nico, why do you say that? Because as somebody that travels around the world and goes to different countries, I'm also very open, super happy adult fun time wise. I'm very explorative. I've talked about it on my main channel. I've talked about it on Patreon. But I do believe that there are spaces for Black people and brown people. If you want a mixed crowd, if you want just Black, if you want just Latino, there's spaces for that, especially living here in New York City. I remember in LA, it is not as frequent nor quite as large as the mainstream queer parties. There are multiple gay parties aimed for people of color. You just have to want to go there. And that's not to shade him, because he said at one point during the night he interacted with his white friend and the white friend's Black friend. But from what I'm hearing, he's complaining that in these white spaces, he's not being sought after as a Black bottom. And I'm one of those people that believes I'm not going to fight to get a corner of a table at an establishment that I'm not welcome in. I genuinely believe supporting the parties and the areas that accept and embrace you, not tolerate you because somebody might be interested in your flavor. I genuinely believe that if you don't feel welcomed in a place, you don't go back there. I understand they said they're open-minded and, oh, maybe it was just this one time. But the more I listen, the more I'm like, girl, it sounds like you knew what was going to happen, but you were hoping for a different outcome because your preference was in the building. And honestly, once again, preferences, I always have to tell people is I prefer an apple. But if, I can't have an apple right now, I have a banana. In his situation, I do believe that a lot of people had their preferences. It wasn't just a absolutely not. In that situation, their preference is probably other white people. So if you're in a building filled with other white people who you are naturally gravitating towards, they're not going to go after someone they don't prefer unless, like he said, he went to that specific area for people that just wanted to watch. But it was funny because he even made rules for himself like, oh, just watching is boring. Y'all should be interacting. You shouldn't even come out to this kind of party if you're not going to be interacting. And I'm like, as a voyeur myself, Nico, I don't like to really engage. I like to just sit down and be like, oh, like Phaedra in that one video, like, oh, that's so entertaining. Like, I like to watch. So that kind of annoyed me for the sole fact that you're trying to dictate people's actions at this party so that you feel more welcomed, when in reality, they're not really engaging with anybody. It would be a different story if they're like, oh no, I'm just watching, and then you saw them engage with somebody. But you can't be mad at somebody for coming to this kind of party and enjoying it the way that they feel comfortable enjoying it. Now, I wouldn't say that it's right for the venue to advertise it as a safe space, especially if they know their clientele is going to consistently overlook the people of color that go there. But at the same time, it's kind of like what he said. The party promoters could have all the right intentions. The party promoters could genuinely believe this is a space for the entire queer community, but the actual politics inside is going to be focused around the people that paid to get in there and who are engaging with the other clientele. So once again, I do feel sorry for him, but I genuinely believe if you want to be sought after, if you want to be recognized in your beauty, because he's a very handsome man, Prince is a very handsome man, it's just you need to be in the spaces that welcomes your beauty. That's why I always tell people I deprogram myself from the Eurocentric standards of beauty, because growing up in Texas, most people preferred white men or Mexican men, because the Latino population in Texas, it's diverse, but not super diverse because it's Texas. So growing up, I had to constantly remind myself, I am beautiful, I am attractive, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of sexual desire and lust. And I feel like we all have to tell ourselves these reaffirming things, or we get lost in media. But that's what the media wants from us, because it also fuels the beauty industries and the cosmetic industry. So it's meant to make you feel lesser about yourself. So once again, if you want to be desired, if you want to have a good, super happy adult fun time interaction at one of these exclusive parties, go where you are welcomed. And that's not me saying you can't have your preferences. Girl, if you want a white man, go for your white man. I'm one of those people, I don't care who ends up with who or who sleeps in whose bed, as long as you're not disrespecting somebody's race or ethnicity or cultural group. Girl, it has nothing to do with me and I don't care. So once again, if you prefer white men, I would genuinely tell you, try to go to mixed spaces, because even then there are mixed parties that have white, Black, Latino all in the same space. I've been to a few in New York City. Though when you get into the party, it's still kind of segregated, because let me give you a quick rundown. You'll walk into the party, dance floor is full of white people, but you will see a large corner of the building filled with black people, because the black people stay with themselves unless they know somebody in the white circle. The Asian people are usually in the white circle. The Latino people are usually bouncing around. So Nico, I literally work in nightlife, so I understand how it works, but go to spaces that are either mixed or more welcoming. Because if you're telling me you went to a super happy adult fun time party that has over 250 people and you ran across maybe 5 other people of color, baby, you are not going to have success, especially if you are not in the role that they are trying to fetishize, aka a dark skin bottom versus a dark skin top. Because I guarantee you, if Prince was a top, he would have had a lot more action. But that could also go deeper into the conversation about fetishization and how it's harmful. It can even go into the conversations that we have online when people try to police Black sexuality and exploration because they feel like we have to follow specific roles or specific groups of people. Girl, do what you want to do with your body. Be with whoever you want to be with your body. Just make sure that you are reminding yourself that you are worthy and that there are options. Just sometimes in these situations, the preference will not prefer you because you are in a building filled with people that they prefer versus you. Like it's if you're going to a white party, 9 times out of 10, the white guys at the white party are going to 9 times out of 10, the white guys at the white party are going to want other white men. But that's all I have to say, and I'll leave the conversation up to y'all. Have you ever been in a position where you were invited to a party that was supposedly welcoming and diverse and accepting, and when you get there, you're overlooked? When you get there, you feel invisible? Because once again, that's one reason I enjoy going to parties such as Horse Meat Disco, for the sole fact that I can dance and I know nobody is approaching me. Nico, I think the 2 times that I've gone, I had maybe like 1 guy hit on me, but outside of that, I was just sitting there dancing with my little drink in my hand, enjoying myself because I do my little awkward 2-step. But I have fun that way because I'm not there to be seen. If you're there to be seen, it might be very traumatic, like he said, for the sole fact that you will be invisible 9 times out of 10. And I'm just going to be real with you. As somebody that has traveled the world and been in different spaces, I see how people interact with the people that they quote unquote prefer. And then when they interact with somebody that they don't want to be intimate with. But with that being said, I'll leave the conversation up to y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Regriff and Anthony H. Thank you for your continued support, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. I can't believe we hit 46K, hopefully 47 next year. And this week's live stream discussion is going to be another virtual hangout, seeing as how we had a topic last week. If you want to keep with the girls, catch up on video topics, and just have a little fun, check it out.